I'm Hannah Thibodeau. This is The Arctic Edge.
We have a frontier, and we got to get on it and do things on our frontier.
In this series, we journey deep into Canada's northern frontier. In our last episode, we told you how Nunavut came to be, an Inuit homeland born not through conflict, but through a quiet, powerful determination. But what does the future look like?
We want to be able to have meaningful jobs, good paying jobs, nice homes, an education system for our children and future generations, and to be in positions where we are making decisions for the future of our people.
In this episode, we meet the next generation of Nunavummiut, those stepping up, holding the line on culture, and pushing it forward. They're building a future rooted in tradition while navigating a world that doesn't slow down.
My name's Derek Joshua Tagalik Irwin Van Aanhoven. It's a pretty long name.
It is a long name, and in the North, names aren't just names. They're legacies, they're roadmaps, they're stories waiting to be told. And we'll get to his in just a minute. But after spending less than an hour with Derek, I can tell you this 26-year-old modern-day entrepreneur is an old soul.
The only reason that we're here is because our traditions and our culture and our ways of life have brought us here.
Nunavut exists because Inuit ways of life endured. Through hardship and through change, tradition held strong. The Nunavut Land Claims Agreement didn't just draw lines on a map, it honored the people who have always called this place home.
And our traditions and our way of life have been forged by through nature. Like everything that we've created, all the laws that we've created have happened for a reason, and that is for our survival.
This knowledge, shaped by the land, refined by survival, still guides the path forward. It influences how Nunavut builds its economy, strengthens its communities, and responds to the pressures of a modern world. And this isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. Now back to Derek's name.
It's a pretty long name.
Yes, every syllable tells his story.
My Inuit names, Pimuksarak, it means he who travels by dog team a lot. My other Inuit name, Aulanak, it's he who travels a lot.
He who travels by dog team a lot, and he who travels a lot. It speaks to movement, resilience, and connection to the land. But they're more than just descriptions of a journey. They've shaped him.
So originally I just had one Inuktitut name, Aulanak. But when I was young, I was very sick. And the sickness wouldn't go away. And in Inuit culture, if you're sick, they'll give you another name kind of to help you. And so I was given the name Pimoksarak by my grandmother. And after that, I was healthy and I was happy.
That name wasn't chosen at random. It helped him heal, and it connects Derek to his grandmother and to the generations who came before her.
We believe that we are reincarnated when we are given a name. So I've had the honor of being named after a very great man, Pimuksarak. He was a shaman and a very powerful shaman and a well-respected man. He's my great-great-great-great-grandfather.
A living link to his ancestors' legacy.
was told that he's been to the moon before.
That's right. Derek carries the name of a man who walked between worlds, who traveled through the spirit realm and returned, a story he grew up loving.
So he left, I guess, the physical body and was able to travel to the moon. And he also has had encounters with other shamans, and he's not in the physical body, but when he was traveling outside of that, and he flew around one of the shamans, and then another shaman went and flew around him and took his powers away. But then his powers were given back to him, and Kamuksarak went and did the same thing to him. There's good shamans and there's bad shamans, and Kamuksarak was without a doubt a good shaman. Very respected man.
For Derek, it's not just about honoring his past, it's about living it, breathing it.
I think it's our duty as Inuit to pass this knowledge on. I have a nephew that's just turned 1, and I've been lucky enough to have family and friends help me learn skills like hunting. And it's one of the things that I enjoy the most in life. There's no better feeling than going out and providing for your family. Like it's something deep and meaningful there, and being able to pass that on to another person, it's an honor.
And there's that word again, honor. Honor in the hunt, honor in providing for your family, honor in passing down what was once passed to you. When Inuit elders negotiated the creation of Nunavut, they knew the world was changing fast. But they weren't just trying to hold on to the past, they were carving out a future. One where Inuit traditions weren't pushed aside, but placed at the center. Language, land, knowledge, not just preserved, put to work, foundational to what they were building. That vision lives in the hearts of so many, including Rosie Uliu.
My name is Rosie Uliu.
She's an Inuit elder from Nunavut and remembers those days clearly. Her brother was one of the negotiators at the table in the 1990s. She tells us what the creation of Nunavut meant to her. Pujit Kusagak translated for us.
Her brother was part of the negotiating team for the creation of Nunavut. She is very protective of where she comes from, her home, the land she's part of. That's what her life was and still is. She needed her brother to explain clearly, okay, what is Nunavut about? Why is this even happening? And so she made him explain what it was about. She was taught about what the divide would mean and what the work was being done for in the future for her children, grandchildren, and so forth. And she has also realized that we are never going to be able to go back to the old ways. It's done. But now we have to see how we can plan and teach for our children and grandchildren moving forward for the betterment of their future. And that's what Nunavut was about.
Now meet Olivia Tagalik.
My name is Olivia Tagalik. I am the Director of IT and Communications at Inuit, which is a non-for-profit organization in Nunavut focused on running cultural-based programs.
Olivia and her team coordinate a wide range of training and development programs, all rooted in Inuit culture.
I think it's always a unique situation. I think the programs that we run, we try to incorporate as much Inuit Kawimaya Tokanit, so traditional knowledge, as we can into our programs, and trying to do that in a more holistic way where you're meeting the needs of the participants, of your community members.
And meeting the needs of trainees means meeting them where they're at.
Whether that's in a workplace training program or a sealskin prepping program. When we have participants come into those programs, we want to help them succeed as much as possible. If they need a pickup from their home to the program location, we provide that. If they are having, troubles find childcare, we accommodate for all of that so that they have the best opportunity to succeed in the program.
So, like Derek, like Rosie, Olivia shares what she's learned. Not just skills, but that sense of belonging, identity, and pride.
It's amazing. I think seeing people really thrive in learning different things about their own culture and finding ways to incorporate it into their modern day life, it's really fulfilling for me.
Olivia helps young people reach back to traditions, to stories, to the strength of their ancestors. And in doing so, she's guiding them forward.
I remember when people were telling me growing up, oh, you're the future generation that's gonna, thrive for us. It's a big, it's a big weight on your shoulders.
And she's right. Passing on knowledge matters, but it's not enough. Young people also need something else. They need examples.
Having role models and providing different opportunities so that they can thrive and be the future that we need them to be is very important.
Peter Tabatai couldn't agree more.
It's so important to have a role model in your family.
You met Peter in the first episode of our series.
My name is Peter Tabatai. I'm from Baker Lake, Nunavut, the geographical center of Canada.
Peter knows exactly how powerful role models and opportunity can be. He saw it firsthand when Agnico Eagle opened Meadowbank Mine north of Baker Lake. Suddenly, there were jobs, good ones, and things began to change.
They became a role model to their children. The father was suddenly making good wages. They were probably driving nice vehicles. I want to be like my father. I want to be like him.
It changed everything. Family life, financial freedom, and how people saw their future.
And by the way, every Thursday is payday. Whether you're on your 2 weeks in or 2 weeks out, I think that's really good. They now have become taxpayers. They're no longer on social assistance. They're now involved.
And Derek Irwin? He's one of those young leaders now. He runs an environmental technology company.
I got started in environmental work after I graduated from the Nunavut Siviniksavu program. And I went to Baffin Island and I did baseline habitat studies across 900 different water bodies along a proposed railway. And I fell in love with environmental work.
That love of environmental work isn't separate from his culture. It's shaped by it.
I started my own business, Kami Up Environmental. And so what we do essentially is we provide services to resource development companies and mining agencies and governments for the provision of fisheries and wildlife.
Old skills, new tools, the future of Nunavut's economy, shaped by Inuit hands.
That's kind of what Kami Up Environmental does, is it wants to go out and provide Inuit the opportunity to work in the environment field, like go and work outside, go and catch some fish, right? Like it naturally aligns with our strong suits, and I think it's great.
Kalmayuk Environmental is a shining example of homegrown success. It's local, it's growing, and it's changing the story about what success can look like in the North. The legacy of the elders lives on in the young leaders who carry it forward. Young leaders like Derek, already creating space for others to follow, even if he's too humble to admit it. Do you consider yourself a leader?
I wouldn't say that, but my mom thinks I am.
He may not claim the title, but leadership isn't always about loud or about labels. Sometimes it looks like consistency, or kindness, or doing the work so others believe they can too. That is the legacy he's shaping, step by step. And Olivia Tagalik? She's doing the same, quietly leading by example, weaving the threads of tradition into everything she touches, even the costumes of a hit Netflix series.
I did some work for a show on Netflix. It's called Avatar: The Last Airbender.
No digital wizardry, no AI, just traditional skill applied to a global stage.
I did some costume work that they commissioned, and it was sealskin collars, headbands, different things like that.
She learned to sew sealskins into handmade trappers' hats, beadwork into traditional clothing. Now those skills are making their way into pop culture for the Netflix production of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I'm the Avatar, and I'm gonna save the world. With my friends.
Young Inuit leaders like Derek and Olivia carry the weight of guiding Nunavut's future while making their culture and traditions come to life. They don't just honor tradition, they embody it. And for Olivia, that connection to her history is even etched into her skin. A living story she wears with pride.
I always get this question because I have face tattoos.
She has a traditional tattoo on her chin. Tattoos that were once banned, erased, now reclaimed.
Traditional tattooing was something that was very much driven underground during the missionaries coming up north. It was like they saw it as paganism, and it wasn't very nice thing. So a lot of the traditions around tattooing disappeared for a long time, and it wasn't until very recently that there was a Inuit tattooing revitalization. There was even a program that went around the north giving markings to women all over Nunavut.
Olivia applied the tattoos herself after her father died, a tribute to his life.
It was something that was lost for a long time, and people are starting to reclaim that. And it's a different way of keeping it alive. We may not have the traditional understanding of what those markings mean, or we will not be able to tell where people come from, but it's another way of keeping a part of our culture alive. It's something that connects me to my father and for sure his family.
Olivia and Derek aren't just preserving tradition, they're putting it to work. They're using what was passed down to them to help build what comes next. And for the next generation, this isn't just about looking back. It's about moving forward, with culture as the driving force.
We live in a time of great change. Just 100 years ago, both my grandmas were born in igloos, right? Both of them grew up on a traditional lifestyle. And in 2 generations' time, you have me who was born in a hospital, who's running a business, who's, using backpack electrofishers to catch small little stickleback.
In the next episode, we dig into mining in Nunavut and how resource development is strengthening communities, building lasting infrastructure, and expanding the North's economic foundation. I'm Hannah Thibodeau. Thank you for listening to The Arctic Edge, stories from Canada's frontier.